Jumping in here to let you all know that my commissions are open, so if you want an Angelkilll illustration, now is your chance. We can dominate the world with these silly, stupid chibis. Now, let's get back into the video. Hello, how are you? Weird how I just sort of came back as if nothing, huh? Well, I have some explanations to give, I guess. That's why today I'll be answering your questions. Well, in the back here you'll see a speed paint of one of my OCs, Cherry U, which I will get into later. I'll talk about that in just a bit. If you don't know why I'm standing in front of you like you're a judge, well, at the end of last year I published 2 animatics which created havoc. One being the 666 missed calls and the other one being Angelkilll is missing, or also known as the person you're trying to reach is missing. And this isn't exactly the first time I've done this. I posted an animatic 3 years ago at this point. Oh my god, time passes way too fast, guys. Which also follows the same characters, which also is surprisingly related to these 2 animatics that I posted last year. I won't be explaining the meaning behind these animatics since I like keeping the metaphors up to interpretation to each person, which yes, they are metaphorical. I use very direct language to my advantage and create metaphors beneath them. I do everything very intentionally. I also love it when people theorize about my stories and characters. It's why I became an illustrator in the first place, to tell stories. That's why I also usually put in my bios that I'm a storyteller first, illustrator second, and everything else after that, which is unrelated to my illustrating career. So I posted both a community post and a reel. I decided to make a reel because I thought it would be fun, asking you to ask me questions, whether it be related to the animatic or not, and I'll be giving you answers to that, so yay! First up, Venus the Dragon asked, are the animatics OC related or are they vent animatics? The answer is yes to both. I have a weird relationship with my persona where they both are a persona and also an original character. I tend to use them for a story of metaphors. It follows a direct line, yes, but it's subliminal. I've never been a person of words, and my self-expression has never been the best. In fact, a lot of times I only realize how I feel after something has already happened, and illustrating and storytelling has helped me a lot to deal with a lot of difficult situations and realizations I've had over the years. So it's also a vent in a way, but I vent in a way that makes, I don't know, illustrating more fun and storytelling more interesting. More so than just being like, you know, more so than just that. I mean, it's better than my. Then they asked, why does your persona have 2 eyes and a half? My persona has 3 eyes. Which the 2 eyes and a half made me laugh so hard, and I still laugh when reading it. I'm pretty sure I answered it in my Meet the Artist video, but I, as someone who believes in the supernatural and paranormal, since I come from a lineage of witches, have had my third eye open since I was a child, and to not put it in the middle of my forehead since it's too obvious and overdone, followed the route of one of my favorite albums, Electro Heart, to design myself. Otherwise, it just looks like me, pretty much. Yamato Coralinas asks, how have you been over the past few weeks? But overall, I'm fine, I think. I've been working on many projects, which these 2 animatics woke up in me, and you know, I have so many ideas. I've been obsessing over this idea and wondering if I could bring it to life. I know that animatics aren't exactly the most successful on my channel, but I'm here to tell stories and experiment. Everything I do is so that I can bring these stories to life, and while I have something else planned, But let's see how that goes, right? I can't promise anything yet because what I have in mind is very work consuming, and oh man, I love making myself suffer, I guess. And then they asked, when will you finally draw your other OCs other than your favorite girl? I am unsure of who exactly my favorite girl is, if it's Selena or she, since, well, I draw the both of them a bit too much. Publicly, at least. And, well, in the back here, you can see me draw Cherry for a change. That's change things up a bit, right? That changes things up, right? I was exploring a simpler, more expressive style for this one, which I used to use back in the day, but stopped for some reason. In the sense as in just drawing shapes in and like alpha locking them and rendering them in their one layer and stuff like that, like I did with the bird cage there on her head. Just drew that straight up using like one of these ruler settings stuff that I don't even know how to explain these. One of these line options that Krita gives you, right? I used to do that back in 2021 and 22 and 2020 and 2019. You know, I just stopped for some reason over the years, and I don't even know why, but I came back to it, and it has been fun. This simpler and not yet rendered version, does remind me a lot of the style I was going for the Pigluva story. Not exactly the same style in itself, but the sensation it gives me. It's charming and cute. Like, the rendered version looks good too, of course, I like both, but overall in the back, answering your question now because I got lost a little bit there. Privately in my sketchbooks, I have been drawing other characters, which I hope to get soon. I'm very excited to show you all and talk about it, the things that I've been plotting and planning. Woohoo! Skellybones Art asks, do you play any games in your free time, like whenever you're not drawing? Now, this is actually an interesting question because the answer to this is both yes and no. I have a complicated issue of not being able to keep my focus on things and easily losing interest, which is why I prefer drawing on a faster pace too, since if I don't finish it fast, at least, I'll end up abandoning it completely. At some point I should make a video where I visit my abandoned drawings and actually finish them, so, you know, up until that point you'd think like, oh, well, then just finish work first and then you play games second. Well, then we come into my second issue, which is that I'm an extreme person. I feel things very strongly and grow easily obsessed with the things I like, so the few games I did play in the past, let's just say, took over my entire life for a while, which isn't exactly healthy, you know. I did ask this person for recommendations to give you all, but they just left us hanging, so no game recs for us, I guess. On the same type of question, though, Ellie Chef GD? Is it chef or chef? Chef, right? Ellie Chef GD asks, what's your favorite type of game? I like calm games overall, right? When I did play games, and sometimes, rarely, like very rarely, I still do. I mean, I like very rock and roll heavy games like My Little Pony Magic Princess, like very rock and roll, very heavy, like deep, like battle stuff. You have to use lots of brains for it. Brain power, you know, that sort of stuff. Sometimes, very rarely, I go back to Lads, you know, Love and Deep Space to listen to Silas's voice because it says some art to me, but, you know, I don't really play it, or, you know, you won't hear from me for a month or more. And also, recently, I actually went back for the 1000th time to Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. Holy shit, I cannot speak for the life of me. And I made this I'm sorry. I made the starters Selena and Jealous. Like, how couldn't I? Right? How couldn't I? It's a chill game I go back to. Like, I love stories, and also, like, this game still makes me cry with that ending every single time. Ooh, I won't get into it in case anyone hasn't played it here, which it could be understandable, but at the same time, this game came out more than a decade ago, I think. Oh my god. And the most important question of them all. Taco Cat asked, lemon? Yes. So, if you have any theories to my animatics that I have published at the end of the year for Christmas and New Year's, you can leave them down below. That's like my most favorite thing ever. My entire life, I've just been slowly plodding into getting people into my stories and telling stuff and, you know, just opening this little safe space for people. A lot of times I make stories in relevance to my own occurrences. I can't really speak on behalf of things I do not know myself, so I tend to only really touch on subjects that I do understand of. I don't think that it's a nice thing to make stories on things that you don't understand, on especially heavy subjects, because a lot of the subjects I touch on in my stories are very triggering, which is why a lot of times it's not even a lot of times, I'm pretty sure that in every single social media platform that I do have, I put in my description, I talk about explicit things. This is not made for kids. I talk on subjects that are extremely triggering and that shouldn't really be prevalent to children. You know, they shouldn't go through it. Obviously, no person should go through these things, but also they shouldn't really, you know, be invested in such topics. So I always put that warning there, right? I don't even know why I said that. It's just a warning, okay? I touch on heavy subjects in my stories, but the people that did go through something similar or the same thing or anything really that can find some solace in my stories. I like making stories for those types of people because when I was younger, I really wished that I could have found more media that resonated with me specifically. And, you know, taboo subjects aren't exactly the most talked about. I absolutely fucking hate that word, okay? I'm so sorry. But it's the word that people use, despite me specifically not finding it a correct term for such heavy subjects. It's not that people should find them taboo and hide them from people, because those are real things that happens. But it's what happens, right? But yeah, I just like making stories for the people that need them, I guess. I don't know. Also, poor Cher, you just can't stop suffering, like for a girl. As you can see in the back here. I've been experimenting a lot with her story as well. At least I was at the end of last year for a little bit. If you remember me like doing the comic stuff and doing that... What am I saying? Doing those comic studies made me think of her story a bit and how I want to change it up a little bit. But yeah, right now I'm working on something else, which has been following me for 6 years at this point. But let's see how that goes. Also, don't say weird things about this girl, because Huion's a teen, okay? She's going through stuff. But yeah, I hope you like the finished result of this little drawing right here. I think it's very charming and cute and I like it. I missed just painting stuff technically and just doing stuff in a more childlike expressive way, sort of. I don't even know how to explain this specifically. It's a different style. It's my usual style mixed with my old style as well. It's just a different way of doing things, okay? I just like painting random objects over my illustrations and like integrating stuff and just doing things freely without having to follow and restrict myself, which is what I want to do more of this year. Experiment, sort of, and like do more free stuff. Just be free and experiment, right? Along with story stuff, of course. But yeah, I hope you have a nice day and night, and I hope that I explained some stuff to you, right? I'm fine, okay? I'm living and I'm okay, okay? You don't have to worry about me. I hope you have a nice day and night, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.